Alright, what's up guys? So in this video, I picked up something that probably is too good to be true, but we're gonna see. This is a 1997 Upper Deck baseball set. It is billed as a 1 through 550, which would make it a master set, and I only paid 60 bucks for this. Now, the thing about 1997 Upper Deck is that there's a complete set and a master set. And the master sets usually run about $100 and a half. And the reason is not because of the Griffey's Hot List short prints, but because this set was released in 2 series with 2 updates. That's cool. Not a rookie, but it's 271 Vlad Sr. And, oh yeah, Andrew Jones. Neither of these are rookies, even though they say star rookies, but there's 240 Andrew. So, and that's actually 240 and 271. So Andrew is the last card in Series 1, and Vlad is the first card in Series 2. So they did 240 cards in Series 1 and 250 cards in Series 2. But in between there, they released redemption sets, 2 30-card redemption sets, and those are what are really hard to find. These actually look like they are in order, so I can check fairly quickly here. No, they're in here. Wow. Wow. Okay, and the second one is actually sealed. So, cards 241 to 270. Okay, so maybe, no, Vlad would have to be, yeah, Vlad's 271. So, 241 to 270 and 521 to 550, you could only get by mailing 10 pack wrappers into Upper Deck. And those card sets are almost impossible to find. Even like trying to individually buy them, they're extremely hard to find. They're not expensive, but they're almost impossible to find. And awesome. He's got them. So this is a heck of a deal. These sets on eBay usually have buy it nows at around 100 and a half, and the people don't want to come down on them. So this is actually going to be a really huge set for the archive, because this rare does not mean expensive, and expensive does not mean rare. Like Mike Trout rookies are expensive, but they're definitely not rare by any means. These cards are really hard to find, but they're also not really that expensive. Although that is a really cool card. Not a rookie, or actually might be. I have to look that up. I don't think it is, but it would almost have to be. Well, this was at a time when a rookie was not a rookie. They had a lot of draft rookies, but that is a 1997 Bartolo Colon. Made his Major League debut April 4th, 1997. Yep, and we got Dion. Got Primetime in there. 5. Philadelphia All-Star Game, 1996, I think that said. Where's Kenny in here? In 1996, Phillies All-Star Game. Okay, so that's cool. So that's all good. So let's verify that it is all here and that it's in order. So that is actually really awesome. I'm really, really happy with that. I'm working on getting every set that Upper Deck produced in baseball. There's a 1996 A-Rod. So they produced from 1989 to 2010. And I'm a little under halfway there. I have 89, 90, 91, 93, 96, 97, 98. So I need 92, 94, 95, And again, it's not even that any of those are super expensive. Like the most expensive one will probably be 2001 with Ichiro and Albert, which honestly, even that has become kind of not common. And that usually runs around 120, 130, about what this should run. But when I get serious about that, then I'll set watch lists and just see what I can find. There's DJ, a fairly iconic photo. There's the kid. Okay, so this is one of the short prints. This is Ken Griffey Jr.'s Hot List. In '98, these were not short prints. In '97, these were short prints. What's the difference? Almost the exact same picture between the two. Again, iconic photos from the mid-90s. These were all the Junior's Hot List. But like I say, it's those update sets. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Series 1 set for sale on eBay. Series 2 sets come up periodically, and prices will vary. It's just whatever the person that owns it thinks they want to get out of it. And they really did a lot of subsets, like probably a good third to half of this entire thing is all subsets. We're up to 350. And if you also didn't know, Upper Deck did their checklist by team, which not a lot of manufacturers do it. I'm not really sure how Topps decides who is in their checklist, but Upper Deck always kept teams together in each series. Also, respect to age, because these cards are not sticking together. One of the reasons that I binder them is to prevent paper loss on glossy cards. Plus, they're actually viewable. Okay. Oh, Dimitri Young. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Let's see. Another news, I'm making some decent progress on my 71 set, so that's good. Yep. The Series 1 was postseason highlights, and that looks weird seeing Boomer in a Baltimore jersey, especially since this was right around the time that he went to the Yankees. And we're gonna, once we get these bindered, we're gonna go through and we'll look through everything. Once I key this set into the spreadsheet, that'll put us over 25,000 cards in the archive. So that's total, not uniques. All of the stuff that's not bindered or set in the showcase is bulk counted in storage boxes. Junior, oh, that's cool. Photo shoot 96. I don't think I've ever actually seen a picture of that card before, so that's actually pretty cool. Barry Bonds with a goatee. Now that is a surprise. Followed him for a lot of years. Don't ever remember seeing that. Of course, this was before I started watching. No, this would have been the second year that I was watching. defensive gems, and it's just like subset after subset after subset. They just keep going with some new stuff. Oh, there's a very young Jason Giambi and Scott Brocious. Entertainingly enough, right next to the Yankees, who they would soon play for. This was from 1997, which would be Cleveland and Florida in the World Series, a series that Cleveland should have won, and still is, I don't want to say like a choke, but, and that one hurt that they blew it, but the positive thing is that at least meant Jim Leyland got a ring. Yes, the first 9 cards were dedicated to Jackie. Except that I totally glossed over Andrew. Yeah, they're all here. Oh, there's Andrew Jones laying right there, so no, they're not all here. Let's see. 39, 240. Although I'm not really worried that I'm legitimately missing any, but we'll double verify it when we binder them. Okay. This one should fit. Got a 2022 set that I still need to do yet, and I think that bigger binder will better fit that. So let's see. Yep, you can see. So starting with Jackie. This would have been 96 year photos, so this was when Yankees made it back to prominence, which is interesting because Mariano Rivera has a Strike Force subset card in this, which is kind of interesting because he wasn't even the closer in 96. Double checking that the last card is the correct number on these. That way I know 2 didn't stick together and I know I'm not missing any. Mo has a Strike Force card, which is kind of interesting. Pettit, Mo. In '96, Mariano excelled in what has usually been a thankless role, the setup man. As the reliever who comes right before closer John Wetteland, Mario compiled a 1.92 ERA and held opposing batters to a 168 average through August. However, with injury to Wetteland, Mariano also saw time as a stopper, recording 3 saves in August. So that was enough to get him in. Which makes sense. A 1.68 ERA is generally enough to get noticed. Edgar Renteria, debut 1996. May 10, 1996, Edgar Renteria. Tim Belcher. Todd Hollandsworth. His name was so long, Frank Thomas Big Hurt Baseball on the Super Nintendo couldn't even display it all. Not even a joke. I think it only got to Hollands W. T. Hollands W, I believe it was. It's actually kind of funny. But I'll never forget him because of it. To 108. This was in the time when Upper Deck would usually do around 540 card sets. Coming out of the strike, both Tops and Upper Deck cut their set size considerably, and then their last few years, Upper Deck, of course, ballooned to ridiculously large sets, comprising of 1,000 cards some years, sometimes 800, some 900, some 1,000. They definitely were kings of junk, but I've always preferred their products and their designs to Tops. But if I go and buy boxes, I'm quickly reminded of just what a BS racket they had going. And you could buy box after box after box and not get anything good. And then several years in the early 2000s, you wouldn't even get hits from regular players. You'd get Team USA jerseys, and I don't think I've ever actually heard of almost anybody out of those Team USA jerseys. But, you know, it was super cheap. Cheap to buy, cheap to license. That being said, I do still thoroughly enjoy SP Authentic and that kind of stuff with hockey. Had a Fernando Valenzuela there. He was still going in '96. Special Report Global Impact. It lists Larry Walker because he is Canadian. That's what I thought. quite out of Series 1. Almost out of Series 1. Just a little more to go. That is 234. So we will end Series 1 on this page. We are into the next. These are legitimately some of the rarest cards that I have. But again, it's not like they're worth a ton of money. You just not find them again. $270. Another 10 pages down. John Mabry. Okay. Let's see. Left-handed Cardinals hitter. It's too early to be Edmonds. By a lot, actually. But there's just... These are all the checklists. This was the only year the Upper Deck put redemptions into their base set in this form. And then after 1998, they did not do short prints in the base set again. I kind of like the Griffey's Hot List over the Eminent Prestige, but the Eminent Prestige were still pretty cool. This is also an overall really neat design with the gold wood border. They had some really nice designs some years. Capture the Flag. Pennant Race Diary. interesting. This and 98, really the two like Holy Grail sets that they produced. I've had 98 for a while. That was one of the sets that I spent a ton of money into growing up with never a shot at actually completing it. The amount of money I blew on blasters at Kmart as a kid really is just kind of sickening, but '93 Upper Deck I also threw a ton of money at. Never, I had over 2,000 cards for '93 Upper Deck at one point as a kid and still didn't get a complete set. 97 Collector's Choice was the other one. Had a crap ton of it and never completed the set. That set's super cheap. On one hand, I want to just buy one to have it because I never completed it as a kid. On the other hand, I never want to look at that set again because of how frustrating it was as a kid and how much of it I had and handled and never finished it. Looking through my old ones, looking for some nice ones before I break out the brand new ones. Try to recycle somehow. Except that one's not any longer for whatever reason. Okay. That ought to give me enough. Alright. 406 is where we're starting here. Yeah, I'm getting close to completing the first 100 of 71 tops. Only got a few cards left there. I'm getting close to 250 of the 752 overall. So we're really starting to make some headway, honestly. About 30% complete. Watching closer for short prints. I think what I'm gonna do is the Dusty Baker and Don Baylor rookie is the last like big card that I need from the set. And after that, I think I'm gonna focus on knocking out the short prints and then do the commons. The short prints are the ones that are gonna be more costly to pick up. I really need to just like hit my LCS every couple weeks and just keep chipping away. I think I've been building off and on for about 10 years. I just don't really like consistently. Like before I bought another like 25 commons last week. The last time I had edited my checklist file was December of 21. So been about 15 months since I had bought anything for it. But Recently picked up Burt Blyleven and Harmon Killebrew. There's really not a lot of big names left. I think Al Kaline is still on it. I think I still need Al, but like there's some Hall of Famers still in there, but I need to start buckling down and going a little more targeted. I only need like 9 cards to have 1 through 100, so I think I'm gonna do that. And then it's gonna be more short print focused. I just like get it done. Because we're really close. Not really close, but we're close. Like 30% into a set that I'm not doing like a high grade set, kind of like a very good set, but I mean that's still probably a $2,000 set, $1,500 to $2,000 by the time I get through it. I'm not worried about corners and chipping. Main rule is no creases. But Clemente was the last like high dollar card after I got the Nolan Ryan, and then now the last like $60-$70 card is going to be Dusty and Don, and then after that there'll probably be a couple more floating around in there, but that'd be probably $15-$20, but for the most part we should be pretty well good. Should be really close to just getting commons, and then it's going to be just like getting a few hundred commons, so my LCS runs base commons for 50 cents each, so I want to take advantage of that as long as I can. I actually need to pull one more. Let's see here. I think we'll be, let's see, we're either going to be spot on or one extra. We're going to be one extra. Jose Cruz Jr., man, there's the name. I feel like honestly should be newer than 1997 actually. There's 1997, 20 years would be 2017, so I mean it's Jose Cruz Jr. did not have a 20-year career. Definitely not what they thought he would be. May 30, 1997, Hideki Arabu. He was one of the big cards. I remember he was in 97 score with a variant that was in Japanese, and that card was always worth quite a bit more. Yeah, really never even looked it up on eBay to see, just what it's worth. But, okay. So let's go take a look. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be able to see. So we start, the front 9 is with Jackie. And I'm not going to go too slowly on these pages. You can pause the video to see what we're looking at. Got Braves on page 1. Into Baltimore, Boston, Cubs, White Sox. Not sure. Green jersey for the White Sox. Haven't seen that one before. Got Big Hurt. Let's see. Albert Bell. Kenny Lofton with a parachute because he was so fast. I'm going to tell you, Kenny Lofton is one of the greatest players that I've ever seen, that I am completely okay not being in the Hall of Fame. Great player. Not Hall of Fame caliber, but about as good as you can get without being on that level. Omar Vizquel is one of the best defensive shortstops I've ever seen. I would say if Scott Rowland can get in, Omar should be able to get in on his numbers. Obviously, he's not going because we're outside the game, but Omar just didn't have enough of the bat. But if Omar had key hits like Jeter had, his career would have been seen completely different. And then we have our first subset with Strike Force. A lot of notable names here. Smoltz, Maddox, Glavine, Mussina, Pettit, Rivera, Randy Johnson down in the corner. And I think there's anybody. Oh, Billy Wagner's down there. Bagwell. Mike Piazza. One of Tommy Lasorda's greatest moves that he had no idea anything about. Paul Molitor up there. Yugi Thurbina. Mark Grudzielanek. John Franco. Doc Gooden. Ruben Rivera. Pettit. Tino. Bernie. Wade Boggs. O'Neill. And then we have defensive gems. Mad Dog. Ivan Rodriguez. Robbie. Biggio. Mark Grace. Ozzie. Ozzie was still playing. Ozzie was at the end of his career. Cal. Kenny down there. We get into Phillies. Fernando Valenzuela. If you're wondering, this is one of the sets where every photo is game dated. So like with Barry, it says, joins the exclusive 300 Homer, 300 Steal Club, 427.96. That was one of the cool things that they did with this. I think they did it 97 and 98. But that's just something that takes a lot of work and is really hard to keep up with. Special Report Global Impact shows their flag in foil on the back, which is kind of cool. Upper Deck did a lot of foil, and they really like their subsets. Let me tell you, they really like their subsets. Then season highlights down there, which is checklists. And then we get into star rookies. Really, outside of the Vlad and Andrew, there's not really much of anybody noticeable. So the gold ones are the ones that start the redemption set. So Andrew is 240. He's the last of the cards that you could actually pull out of packs. These guys with the gold start the redemption. And then you have postseason highlights from 1996 going all the way through And that's where Atlanta tried to defend their crown and got stopped by the Yankees. A couple more rookies down at the back. And then the silver rookies start Series 2. Again, not really anybody notable except for Vlad. I think Vladimir Guerrero's only rookie card was like 1995 Bowman's Best, I want to say it was. He's one of those that the only rookie is really obscure. There's a few guys like that. Greinke is like that too. His only rookie is like a real obscure Bowman. More season highlight checklists. Sandberg was still playing. Eddie Taubensee. Tomei. Chad OJ. Manny Ramirez when he was skinny and hitting bombs the opposite way before he legitimately put on all that muscle and became a pull hitter. Back when he was younger, he could go the opposite way with the best of them. He was about as good as Junior going to opposite field. And then we have Capture the Flag, which chronicles teams trying to get the pennant. More very, very bright foil on there. And Ramon Martinez. Wilton Guerrero. Eric Karros still down there before he went to the booth. Knobloch in Minnesota before he went to the Yankees. And then we get into Griffey's hot list, and you can see these are foil cards. The back has the foil on them. Jeter, A-Rod, McGuire, those cards like all the superstars. And then Junior himself down there. 10 cards in the subset. That's what everybody thinks when they think 97 Upper Deck is the Griffey hot lists. But really, it's the 2 redemption sets that make it difficult to get it like a master set, because technically be like $490 for a quote-unquote complete set. Then the master set is $550. Then we have Diamond Debuts, and Diamond Debuts is base. All that gold kind of threw me off there, but again, not really anybody of note down there. There's Tony, never struck out against Greg Maddux. Something that to this day still lives as legend. Very young A-Rod. Got Randy in there. Prepares for another season of mowing down hitters, 1997. It's kind of a cop-out on that game date line, but sure, whatever. Mickey Tettleton. Charlie O'Brien. Roger in Toronto. That would have been from when he was traded, right? Yeah, the racket flies north of the border. Yep. That would have been when he was traded. Kenny Lofton. Jim Leyritz. So these guys now were into the second update set. So these are traded players. Interesting. Chili Davis in Kansas City. Yeah, he made the final out in the 96 World Series, so yeah, that would be right. He was out of New York from then. And not really a whole lot going on. John Wetland, of course, out of New York for that Rivera kid. I think that worked out for him. Worked out better than signing Hideki Arabu, that's for sure. Arabu definitely did not turn out as well as Mo did. But that is 1997 Upper Deck. Definitely not a set you see every day, especially a master set. So having this in the archive is really awesome. I'm happy to have it. That's a big one off the checklist just because, like I say, it's really hard to find Not even so much that it's expensive. And really glad to have gotten it for a very good price. So thanks for Cards and Chill, and we'll see you next time.